Hey guys, I'm at the drive-in again. I got another weekend off, and surprisingly enough, unfortunately, the movies really didn't match up with me all that well, because tonight is going to be Fast X. Yeah, I didn't have any other options. I definitely wanted to go to the drive-in. This is the only thing that was showing that I hadn't seen, so I'm going to watch the Fast and the Furious movie willfully. I didn't think this time would ever come, but it's here. I'm going to watch Fast X for the simple fact that the second movie that's coming out is Renfield, and I kind of wanted to see Renfield. As much as I badmouth Nicolas Cage, I still find him very entertaining for not the purposes that he started out for his intentions, but I still find him very entertaining in just his bizarre choices that he makes with his characters. I find that incredibly fun to kind of pick apart. So I'm looking forward to Renfield. That's going to be our second movie, but first we had to suffer through Fast X. Tonight's t-shirt, I struggled with this one. Last week it was really easy because it was a superhero movie, so I got to put a superhero on my superhero t-shirt. But unfortunately, today it's going to be a little different. Now, I had a cover in mind that I was going to put on a t-shirt. It was for Ghost Driver, and it was him standing on a Charger, which would have been perfect because Vin Diesel's car is a Charger. And I was even going to put Vin Diesel on the back of the shirt in a form of Groot in a car, and it was going to be cute. But then I started thinking about it, and I realized I was going to have to wear that t-shirt, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to wear that crap. So tonight is going to be, I made a t-shirt from the New Warriors. The front of it is the first cover from the New Warriors. The New Warriors was it was a bunch of B-list characters that were not being used at the time, and the writer at the time went to the editors and asked for the permission to use that. That's the way that group came together, and it lasted for quite a while. It lasted more than 100 issues. On the back of it, I put Night Thrasher, which was the dumbest character that you could possibly ever want to come across. It was a armored ninja that rides a skateboard. How 90s can you get? But it was still they handled that character well enough for me to actually like it, even though it was a dumb concept. And I really loved this group. I read it all the way throughout the 90s. But other than that, hey guys, I'm just going to be in just a few seconds. I'll be right back to let you know what I think about Fast X. I'm not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to reviewing it. So strap in. All right, see you in a few. Well, guys, I just got done watching the movie, and I'm going to go ahead and just go over the premise, or at least as much of the premise as I got off of this. I'll be honest with you, I really didn't pay close attention to this movie because honestly it was really stupid, and it didn't warrant my attention. Basically the plot that I got was I missed the last two movies. I don't think I really needed to see them to understand. We all know that Vin Diesel, at least his character Dom, has a kid with Michelle Rodriguez's character, and that they're finally married, and that they're still promoting that big family life that has been the big target, the one tagline for all these movies is family. So stupid. It was so stupid. We begin this movie by picking up from like a couple movies ago, because I recognize this scene. It's where the movie where they steal the safe or steal the money by selling the whole safe, and they're dragging it with two cars. It actually had Paul Walker in that scene. So we're watching this scene, and we find out that the big bad guy of that movie had a son, who was played by Jason Momoa. And Jason Momoa watched his father die, and hence sets up a revenge plot for this movie. That's where it's picking up. And then it's basically all the way throughout the movie, we're just watching Jason Momoa set in motion his diabolical Bond villain plan that he had orchestrated for Dom, for Vin Diesel's character. That's a plot. Honestly, that's about the only thing I know to tell you guys. Because, like I said, I didn't pay close attention to this movie. We had, we had a ton of people in this movie. From, Michelle Rodriguez is reprising her role in this movie, but we also had Charlize Theron reprise her role from, one of the last 9 movies. Jason Statham was in this movie. Even at the very, very end, The Rock makes an appearance. And we all know that there was some kind of feud that was going on between The Rock and Vin Diesel. But he makes an appearance, and he makes a promise in being in the next movie. And yes, unfortunately, this is setting up for a sequel. It will come, because this movie is going to make the $1 billion that Vin Diesel has promised the studio that, when he decided to make this movie. That even is kind of not an accurate statement, because these movies make so much money that it's not even a decision anymore. They're pretty much just churning them out. Anyways, all right. So the big thing to walk away from this movie is to know that Jason Momoa eventually ends up with his Dom's kid, and that is used as a pawn, as a motivation to have that final showdown with Dom versus Jason Momoa's character. And I'm sorry, I don't even know the character's name, and I don't care. This movie was chock full of unbelievable premises. From the minute there was this moment in the very beginning where they're chasing down this bomb, and this bomb is comically large and round. It looked like the bomb that Batman was carrying around on the pier, and
some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
It was so incredibly stupid. And then you watch them play racquetball with this thing, with their cars, trying to get this bomb off into some water, so when it explodes, it doesn't. The detonation doesn't destroy the city, right? Okay, it's a solid premise for something you would read in the comics, right? There's this part where he jumps his car off this bridge, knocks the screen so it swings around and knocks the ball off the bridge, which, first off, is impossible. Secondly, is he lands his car after that onto a bridge and drives away. Why? Why do they think that the people that are watching this movie are so incredibly stupid that they would walk away? And yeah, that's a believable scene. Not even was it not a believable scene, but it was an entertaining scene. It made me angry. This movie was just chock full of those moments where physics just kind of goes to the wayside, and then they decide that they want to try to make these stunts, these action sequences, entertaining instead of believable. And I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. It has to be believable, and you have to feel the threat of these action sequences to find them entertaining. And this movie does not do that. This movie is so over the top and outlandish that it actually kind of brings the rage out in me. I hated this movie. It was so incredibly stupid that I don't understand the target audience for that. I understand that there's a lot of people that like these movies in the past, and I guarantee there's going to be people that like this movie in the future. I just don't understand. Are these people just that stupid, or do they become that stupid to watch this movie and then they go back to being intelligent again? This is a question that is going to keep me up at night. I don't understand. Are there really that many stupid people in the world, or are they practiced enough to become stupid to enjoy this kind of form of entertainment? Guys, this movie was not worth the amount of time it was on the screen. It is not worth your attention. Please, I'm begging you, because of our patronages, I'm guilty of this. Because I'm giving money to this movie, that means that there's a sequel coming out. Stop giving this studio, stop giving this franchise money so that we can end this horror, this terror that has been plaguing us for like the last, 10, 20 years now? These movies are awful, and we need to abolish their existence. They're that bad. Grade-wise, I'm going to give it a 5%, because here's the thing. You can tell that there is production value to this movie. Some of the CGI, most of the CGI actually looks good in this movie. Most of the special effects look good in this movie. You can tell that there was an effects team that took pride in making this movie. But you can also tell that they didn't care about writing, acting. None of it worked for me. This movie, Vin Diesel had the same stupid, constipated look throughout the whole movie. And like I said, it kind of brought the rage out of me. 5% is the best I'm going to give this movie. Guys, we're going to move on. Hopefully, I'm praying that Renfield's going to be better than this. But in just a few seconds, we'll find out. So I'll let you know in just a few seconds what I think about Renfield. All right, see you. Bye.
It's intermission. Rise and stretch time. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar.
Hey guys, I just got done watching the movie, this is going to be a pretty quick review. It's basically taking the story of Dracula and telling it from the viewpoint of Renfield. Renfield is his daywalker. It's the person that takes care of the Dracula household, brings some victims, does his laundry, stuff like that. The chores that Dracula can't attend because he can't get up during the day. That's Renfield's job. So Renfield, in the very beginning of this movie, the opening scene is him sitting in the middle of a support group for dysfunctional relationships. And that's basically what this story is trying to pitch to you, is that Renfield is kind of tired of being Dracula's lanky and wants to break away from that. Can I say that it was a successful movie? First off, it starred this guy right over here. Now, I've seen this guy in multiple movies. The first one I saw him in was About a Boy, which is one of my faves. I love that movie. Hugh Grant is in that, I believe. I'm going to look that up. But this kid right over here, he was just a kid. He was like 10 years old. And he turned in a really excellent performance. Now, was he charismatic enough to actually make us like his character? I guess that's the fatal flaw of this movie, is that, first off, I always thought it was going to be, when I first saw the previews for this movie, I thought it was going to be funnier. I was looking for a little funnier. I wasn't looking for zany. It was just kind of like a smaller story about just a normal guy, just a Renfield that, made a bad deal early on in his career and hooked up with Dracula, unfortunately. Like I said, I was looking for a little funnier. I was looking for a little clever. I was kind of hoping that it had a little more. The story had a little more importance to it, but it basically boiled down to, it was just Renfield's story. That's all there is to it, and then kind of like his redemption. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't the solid hit that I wanted it to be. I would totally give it a 75. I guess the only other thing I want to say is, no matter what Nicolas Cage is in, he always looks and acts, to me, like Nicolas Cage. He's never anything else except for Nicolas Cage. So, when he is in this movie and he was Dracula, yeah, I kind of enjoyed his performance, but he was still 100% Nicolas Cage to me. And he was just bringing that bizarre Nicolas Cage energy to this role. And honestly, I'm not sure if it worked or not. I'm going to have to sit on this one and think about it for a while. But at the moment, the score stands at 75%. It's a 75. It wasn't anything great, but it didn't make me angry like the first movie did. Fast X made me angry. This one, maybe I'll watch it again, if it's streaming on a free service somewhere, but I would totally not pay for it, to be honest with you. Here's my recommendation. don't see this in the theater. It's a second run. It's probably almost out of the theaters by now. I would watch it like on Prime. If it comes to Prime, I'd watch it. But I wouldn't pay for it. I wouldn't even rent it, to be honest with you. I would watch it on a streaming service. So that's it, guys. 75% is going to be the best I'll give that movie. I mean, it's still enjoyable, but I was hoping for better. Fast X, woo, man, that was a terrible movie. I recommend running the opposite direction of that movie. Please save yourself some money, time, aggravation. Do not see it in the theater. If you have a morbid curiosity and have to watch that movie, watch it at home. I'm warning you right now. This is me telling you, if you go see this movie in the theater and you come back and tell me later, it's not my fault anymore. I've told you. All right, so that's it, guys. That's my time at the drive-in. I enjoyed some of the movies, but I enjoyed making fun of the first one for sure. Once again, I do wish everybody peace. Montanay, I'll talk to you guys later, and goodbye.